So honestly, I would like to see a form of TGIF. We have two very large hourly gaps here, one and two, and then we have relative highs resting above. So I know that we're in a very deep discount. I know that we delivered a daily gap. We swept sell side, and it's Friday, and every single candle this week has been a down close candle, with an exception of Wednesday here, which we have our classic Wednesday retracement back in the range. It wasn't as deep as we wanted it, but still classic Wednesday retracement. And even then, the body is like very tiny, so it wasn't even that much of a bullish day. So very stretched out marketplace here. We're on a Friday. We've already delivered key levels, right? Honestly, the only thing I could see myself doing is longing on the TGIF or just staying sidelined. So I'm watching this thing while I'm right there with you. A long here would be very nice up into the relative highs on a TGIF type of setup. But with that said, I know that we're going to create a very large wick. I know that a lot of people are probably already jumping in right now if they haven't already. Um, and with just those two things in mind, I simply would not be following my plan if I jumped on this, even though I would be a little bit biased towards the buy side up here, especially with how prominent the fair value gaps are above. So I'm definitely not longing this right now. Okay, I already told you guys the deal. We left behind a very large wick. It's now 9:45 a.m., so I can take price a little bit more serious now. But with all things considered, I mean, it could be very enticing to long this thing up into the highs, but you know, rules are rules, so I abide by them. This is like a really dangerous market right now, just for right now, because I feel like a lot of people want to see these highs ran, and I think it's pretty obvious. But depending on their stop loss placement and whatever leverage you're using, I mean, you can lose a lot of money in here very, very quickly. Okay, so you don't really want to be that guy that has a profitable week like we've had, right? Assuming that you followed along correctly and whatnot, and coming into a Friday and then just do some damage. Like that's the worst possible thing that you can do. It has to fit. Like even if it like let's say that the model actually was here. Let's say that I was actively identifying model 1, 2, and 3. I probably still wouldn't take it because it's not following my risk management plan. It has they both things have to work simultaneously together for me to actually put on live fun trades for you guys. Right? Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't got a good feeling about this. It's already really high resistant. I mean, the high is like pretty ridiculously obvious to me, to be honest. But you know, just because I might be right about that, probably am, does not mean there's time. It's time to push a button, right? If it were to smack right up into there right now, would I feel anything? No, because I follow my plan and certainly follow my risk management plan that keeps me in this game long term. So if I'm giving into short term impulses and wanting short term, satisfaction, like I have to pass that fund to the account right now. Well, guess what? In this business, the main thing that I've learned, the more times you try to push it when it's not warranted and when it's not time to push it, you're gonna get set back 3 times more than you were trying to go forward. Okay, so I get it. You want this. You want to fund the account now. You want to pay out now. You want to prove that person wrong now. You want to go into that weekend venue and show out and be like, oh, here's my profits that I made this way. I get it. All that outside stuff might bring you to do things that you normally wouldn't do if you didn't have that outside stuff as a factor inside of your life, right? So I've been there. That's why I'm saying it to you right now because it's very important. Right, and if you block that out, it's just going to be all the more easy to level up and hone it in the skill set and make yourself free. Like literally live free will. I mean, does most people not want that in this life? Like live on your own terms. Trading is going to help you do that, but you can't rush the process when it's not warranted. So if you're trying to push it 25%, 50%, I mean, ideally, if I'm looking for longs, like I always tell you guys, I want to see it respect 25% and not even reach 50%. Like what that means, not getting to 50% of the wick and tagging 25% and utilizing that and reversing, right? That's like rocket fuel. If we fail to get down to the 50% point, that just adds to my bullish conviction. At this point, I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to do anything, it needs to have a really strong push above here, really prominent, create a Fairway gap somewhere around here. And I looked along that. And then this here would obviously, if it gives me what I want, it would meet the criteria for Model 3 because we're going against those who have been majority making money. That's going to be right above the relative highs. Rallies pretty aggressively there after not filling us. I mean, even with it rallying here and not filling us, I mean, it's not even great order flow here. I mean, look at this wick rejection right here. That's not what you want to see. Because now at this point, when it does this, like I don't even want to enter because I never want to enter when it rallies, takes out a high, and then comes back down to the Fairway gap. That to me is not an entry, right? So if it would have stopped here, hesitated, institutional order flowed, That's an entry. That's clear order flow that I'm accustomed to. Yeah, I mean, obviously it rallies a ridiculous amount of handles in a small amount of time away from the Ferrari gap. So at that point, I'm just expecting it to be left open. That's why I'm saying, okay, I'm probably going to miss the move. But guess what? The fact that it comes the whole way back down into there, am I buying there? Like, oh man, yes, the market makers, they gave me my entry. Never. Like, I'm never doing that. If we rally 50 points away from the gap and then come back down into it, that's not algorithmic order flow at all. And now with the benefit of hindsight, you can see we just completely closed through it. So, looked promising initially, especially with that reaction we had up off of 25% of the wick, but now it's just honestly looking like seek and destroy to me, to be honest. So, and I really want, like, the biggest takeaway real time is we were thinking we were going to get an entry here, but the biggest takeaway I want to give you guys, right, is quite literally what performed here. Like, this looks like it would have been a breaker plus for value gap entry point model 1, but it wasn't. Why? One simple change of phenomena that would have taken place here, right, is let's say we were in live price again. Let's say that none of that happened. This is live price, right? We're in a great world right now. There's no seek and destroy. The market's easy again. It's it's springtime, right? This is what we see on the next 1 minute candle. Is that a long? Absolutely, yes it is. Midpoint of the breaker for value gap. It already institutional order flowed it, and then guess what? It rallies 50 points. What do? Am I expecting it to return to this gap? No, because there's buy side resting above. If it truly wants buy side, it'll leave this open now. Why? Because it already institutional order flowed it, showed willingness to rally away from that. And the key kickaway here is in this range here, where this value gap was created, we already have sell side of the curve delivered and buy side of the curve efficiently delivered. So both sides of this range that was established intraday have been efficiently delivered, right? So when they're creating these fair value gaps, leaving it, this is what you want to see. So at this point, right, rallying right here, that's an immediate break even for me. So it's a risk-free trade. And if we return down to the gap, I want to be out of that trade, right? I'm not going to wait for like, oh, all right, maybe I might close it here. No. It's going to take me out of break even if it returns that gap. Very, very simple. Okay, because more times than not, 90% of the time, it'll do this and then rally straight to my target. So that is quite literally very powerful what I just showed you guys. So, I mean, just look at this ridiculous price action, right? First target was ultimately tagged. Honestly, I feel like even if I even got on a long here and maybe got to buy side, like I still would have felt irresponsible to actually get on there and entice people to put live money when the market moves like this, because I mean it's just ridiculous risk inside of here. And imagine signal groups right now. Like imagine someone's in a chat literally giving signals and someone tries to follow that in here. I mean that is like what a mess that probably is. Wow. Like I would have felt extremely irresponsible to actually entice people to trade live funds on this, regardless of the target being hit or not. Oh, would you look at that, guys? We got our take profit hit. All right, let's take a screenshot. Here's my RR tool. Look, it never hit the stop loss, guys. Just trust me, bro. Never hit the stop loss. All right. We had our 73 handle stop. Never was hit. All right. I didn't take any trades prior to this. Trust me. We didn't take 10 losses before this. Just trust me, bro. Here's my RR tool. Our take profit was hit beautifully. All right. See the W's in the chat, guys. All right. There's not much more credibility than trust me, bro. I mean, come on now, really. Who are you gonna trust more? Someone that trades live every single day, or are you gonna trust someone that says trust me, bro? I think you're gonna trust the guy that says trust me, bro, and never shows it live. Yes, sir. This is the Lambo trade right here. Risk 70 handles for 90. What about that, guys? I learned this from Lambo Riol. That is who I learned this from. This model right here. Boom. Cashes out every week. Actually, never mind. The take profit was right here. It wasn't even down here. It's actually a little bit higher. Right? Boom. We're going to be seizing all those opportunities. Okay, we're going to miss some moves in between, but we sure as hell will be here to seize those opportunities, make ourselves money with consistency. And aside from that, if we don't have any questions, guys, always a pleasure working with every single one of you, every single day, win, lose, or draw. I love doing this with you guys. I love it. All right, I want to see every single one of you succeed and absolutely crush it. Like I don't care if you guys are better than me. Like become better than me, please. I want you guys to I want you by any means. I don't care. Find success and help yourself obtain financial freedom through this skill set here. Okay, even if you are already financially well off, that's great, right? But this skill set can take yourself to an entirely new level in terms of freedom and living life in your own terms. And that is my ultimate goal for every single one of you inside of here. You will obtain that. You will get that. You will find that success. You just got to stick along for the ride and put in the work. So.